So welcome to Defender Forever. My first go at a bit of YouTubing, and the first thing we're going to do to my converted Defender is, if anyone's had the problem where the back door will just not stay open on any kind of slope and you end up pinned up against it because of the weight of the wheel on the back door, we're going to fit a Nakatanenga door strut, which is meant to improve things greatly. So let's see how this goes. And a bit of a wobbly handheld camera at the moment, but I'll stick it on the tripod, and we'll see how it goes with fitting this new strut, which hopefully should hopefully help with keeping the door open. Let's see how it goes. So first thing we've got to do is remove this door card. So I'm going to take these torque bolts out of the handle here, and then the door card comes off, because we're going to replace this, which is the problem. As you see, there's just nothing there, and any kind of right to left slope, the door closes on you. And then we need to remove the attachment here. A bit different for me because I've got carpet on here, but I'll just remove a bit of that to get to the bolts. There is a retaining plate behind there. I'm hoping that it will just stay on, otherwise it's going to get quite awkward. But it's probably enough dirt and corrosion maybe behind there that it will just stay in place. So I'll get some tools, we'll get this removed. I've got some trim removal tools, but it's basically held on, I think, in the four corners, and then we'll pop that off and get on with putting the new strut in. So that's the first bit off, and now for the trim removal. So really handy, these sets, and they're not that expensive for doing anything on the Defender, just to get the trim removal off. As you can see, there's a whole selection of tools. Generally it comes down to one. I'm going to use this, hopefully, well, that's the first one away, you can see in the corner here, and the rest should be just as simple, I think. Yeah, so there was one in the centre. Looks like there's one around about here as well. There we go. I think there's one around the door lock. No, there's one here. Use a slightly different tool on that one, I think. I spotted another one here. One at the bottom, maybe one further along. Yeah, so it's just one here that's slightly more awkward. Let's see if I get a different tool on it. The other bit I forgot to do right at the start is you need to remove this little bit that's allowed the door lever to come out. That's pretty much all free now. He says something's still holding it in. Can't see where that last one is. This slides up. Well, it slides up or down. Can't see which way that goes. Maybe down. Yes. There we go. Job done. So as it was, I didn't actually need to cut the carpet completely away. I can probably get a socket on there and just release those two. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, as I say, fairly corroded as can be expected for anything Land Rover. This one is probably going to put up a little bit more resistance because it's always the second one that's the worst. I'm sure. Yeah, it is moving. I think what I'm going to do is just put some releasing agent on that just to help it on its way. Yep. So there's the bracket away. Then we should just be able to slide out the back of here. Yeah, a bit of a Voyager Discovery, but easier thing to do was just to release these two 10mm nuts, and that's just taking the tension off the stopper there, and it means you can slide this all the way out. So back at the workbench, this is the new strut. I'll just open that up and we'll see what we need to do next. So what we got, there's the new retaining bracket for it. It's a fairly substantial piece of kit. This needs to be riveted on to the door structure. Here we've got the new strut. All it's going to take, and a new fixing bracket, and just the rivets. Let's have a look at the instructions. So not a great deal on the way of instructions, but I'm pretty sure it's just a case of installing the new bracket and then lining the bracket up and riveting on. We'll go back to that and have a look at that and see how it all lines up. First thing we need to do is to get the new Nakatanenga bracket, I'm probably not saying that correctly, back on here. I've just soaked the bolts in some releasing agent just to help them go in. We'll do that now and get that attached, and then we'll line up the strut to see where the other part of the bracket needs to be riveted on. I think the secret is that the door shouldn't be touching, or the spare wheel shouldn't be touching any part of the rear of the vehicle. So you line it up and give it as far as you want it to open to go, probably about there, leaving about ½ an inch of clearance between the spare wheel and the back of the car. And we'll line it up and see how that looks. Just nip them up, I think, initially, because there is slots in this as opposed to the Land Rover one, which is just straight holes. So there is actually vertical adjustment on this. That's them just nipped up. Quite pleased that they've gone back in without any hassle. Yeah, you can see that you can actually rise them up and down. So what I think I'll do is I'll clean this up, and I'll clean all the way around here while I'm here, and put some masking tape on here to mark where I'm going to pop or drill and then pop rivet this in. But I'll clean this all up first, and then we'll have another go at aligning and see how that looks. Really hard to film this actually because I can't do it without getting in the way. That's something I'll have to get the hang of with making these how-to videos. Not that this is a how-to video. That's another 13mm spanner under there. Sorry, 13mm cap tip. So this looks like, I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't. It's come down a bit. Yeah. So that's it there, and that's the door at about 90 degrees. So I probably don't need to go any further than that. So I think I'll nip these brackets up on here. Just at kind of mid position, mask this up, mark it. It looks like it's probably going to be rivet here, pop rivet here, and pop rivet on the end, and that looks pretty good. Might just put a spirit on there actually, spirit level, just to check and see what it looks like. This probably can be tightened now because there's no real adjustment required on that because it's just up and down. So I think I probably will, just says in the only bit in the instructions that's actually says, it says don't over tighten this nut, obviously, because it needs to pivot, but it doesn't pivot on that nut, it pivots on this ball, but that's probably in the instructions not to over tighten them. Yeah, just one more tweak. That's good. That's good. And I think what we'll do now is, you can see we'll just tighten this one up now, so it's proper. Then we'll adjust on the other side. So I'll put some masking tape on. I'll hopefully be able to get a marker through that just to line it up. So this is going back on, just a washer and the nylock. And again 13mm on the back and 13mm on the top. Probably no tighter than that required for the moment. And then this is where we're looking to line up. There's a bit of a hard stop there. Again, I think I get the spirit level on that. And yeah, the door's about an inch away. But, it probably can't go much further than that anyway because of the old bracket which held the strut before. I just want to make sure that this is not going to be under any undue stress here. It just looks at the moment like it's turned, but let me just figure that out and I'll come back to you in a moment. So I've just put the spirit level on it, and the door's in the right position, so and the strut seems okay there. So I'm just going to mark these here. This would be easier with someone holding the door. There, I think that's a good position there. And of course the strut's in the way for this one, but I can release that. I'll just take that off and I'll mark it afterwards. And then we need to drill 4.5mm drill for some pop rivets. So it's kind of looking good. Some centre punch, and I'm just going to drill with a 3mm before I do it with the 4.5, just to ease it in a little bit. Of course, I did the first one, I didn't film that, I'll just film the second one. You've got to be a bit careful because you don't apply too much pressure, because if you apply too much pressure you'll come straight outside the other door panel. So just needs a little bit of, just have to be quite patient. Feel it hit the other side there, but as long as you're not at the end pushing too hard, it'll be fine. So that's them all drilled out to 3mm, and just do the rest of the hole with 4.5. That's good. Now time to rivet it on. I've actually got a pneumatic pop riveter. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use it. I've got a hand riveter as well. I'll just see how it feels. It might be just as easy to do it with the hand riveter. Let's see. So I'm just going to clean up the holes. Just give them a quick clean out. Just take the burrs off them. Something I'm very used to for building aircraft. You get very used to this. And what I have got, it's nice, what I have got is some touch-up paint. So I think just take a pause, and I'm just going to put some touch-up paint in there. Whether it'll make any difference or not, I'm not sure, but it's worth using as soon as I've got it. So I'm just going to touch the holes up, let them dry. It dries in about 10 minutes. And we'll get back and then we'll rivet the plate on. So that's the holes touched up. Actually, they're actually 5mm, those rivets. I thought they were 4.5mm, but I just put the micrometer on, they're 5mm. So I've just drilled the holes out to 5mm. This is pretty good stuff, actually. I'm not associated with them, but Chipex, great for little bits and pieces around the landy. Dries really quickly and gives a really good colour match. Again, these holes, I'm not sure if it makes a great deal of difference, but as soon as I've got it, might as well use it. So just a quick check that everything aligns, and then probably actually just going to use the hand riveter on it and pop it in from there. I'll do one up first, leave the others to for alignment, and then come back and pop rivet the others. Just double checking I've got it up the right way. So as you can hear, I've changed my mind a little bit, and we'll go for this. Got it placed with a couple of Clecos. Make it easier. I was really struggling with the hand riveter, so I'm going to let this run up. You can hear the compressor in the background, and see if that makes it a little bit easier. Let's see. Yeah, so I did the first one. Significantly easier. I don't know why. So let's just go and do the rest of them now. So it's as simple as that. With that. So I have all these aircraft tools from a previous project, so it's making life a lot easier. I'm just going to take this Cleco out before I do the last one, make sure that we've got good fit in there. So that's ready to go on the last couple. I always remember the pop riveting is really satisfying. So last thing to do, I've just put the nylock on here, is just to tweak this up. While you're off camera, I did a little trial. Seems good. So it looks like we've got the alignment okay. Oops. Turn my very old socket set round. Just have a look again on the instructions. Well, there are no instructions, but it says do not over tighten the bolt. The swivel must be able to move freely. Well, I can't see that over tightening this would stop it from being able to swivel, but there you go. That's what they've said. So we won't over tighten the bolt. And then the same at the other end. Oh, seems to be good. And now for the moment of truth, I suppose. Let's get this out of the way. People say that you actually now have to, so it won't come back this way now. And then as the door gets to here, this is not very good filming, is it? It takes a little bit more shove to close, but then if we open, oh, look at that. Lovely. So that's always going to want to go back to there now, as opposed to going in. So it's got like a soft finish on it. That's the wrong word, isn't it? A soft finish. It's just the travel at the end is softened. I have heard that people say that the door card it can be a bit awkward. But I think on these Mark IIs, they may have solved that problem, but we'll see. Let's get the door card back on. Top tip, this retainer here, it slides in, so you need to drop the door card down, which I didn't know when I did it, which is why I was just struggling to get the door card off. There was a little piece of foam on here, not quite sure what that was for. Just a random piece of foam, which I shall probably reattach with some double tape, sticky tape, because I can see the remnants of it there. What it does, I don't know. So, random piece of foam, looks broken off at that end, reapplied. Don't know what it does, but we'll stick it back on and try and get the door card back on. So hopefully this will be reasonably straightforward. I've got all the clips, nothing came off, so should be okay. We'll see how this goes. So for, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's needs a bit further camera. So on the door card, there's, if you're doing this, there's 1, 2, 3 at the bottom, 2 at the sides. There's this center clip, the one I mentioned that you need to slide on, and then 1, 2, 3 at the top. Sure how you get that one over. I think that probably centre one, the only way to do that is to take that one out and then pop it back in, because I can't see how you can actually get it in far enough to slide it up, if you know what I mean. Yeah, let's just see if we can take this one out and then pop it in so it just pops in. Makes more sense. So yeah, I just popped it out with one of the tools and then put it in there so I can just push it back in now. So it's all lined up. In case pushing these in, that's that one. It's hard to see where they are. Centre one, the M ones. That I think is a door card in. Yeah, and yeah, it doesn't interfere. I think they've changed the design a little bit so it doesn't interfere with the door card anymore. So the last thing to do is just to pop this handle on, and that is a job done. Which is great because I sometimes put a dog box in the back of here and you end up with 2 doors, and I've been in a situation where I couldn't actually, I needed someone to hold the door for me, park on a slope, dog box door wants to close, this wants to close on top of you, right mess. So this is a good mod, and the next mod obviously will be to put a spare wheel carrier, so a swing away carrier on, just to take the weight off this door because it's a rubbish design, as we all know. And the door frames eventually crack. But let me get the rest of this trim on and I'll show you hopefully the finished product. Just the last door handle that goes on. And just this last piece of trim that I forgot to take off at the start. So that's that. I'm just going to move the camera and we'll have a go at closing and opening the door, see what it feels like. Looks pretty good so far though. Okay, not quite sure how I'm going to film this, but here we go. I've obviously done a test run. That's the door released. Oh, look at that. Just soft at the end, and yeah, it's just always wanting to stay open as opposed to the other door. So I'll just close it up. Should clean my tools up really, shouldn't I? So just takes a little bit more of a shove at the end. That's the door shut. And I wouldn't do this all the time, but I'll just let it go just to see what it looks like. Let me just yeah, perfect. So much better. So that was the Nakatanenga, I still can't say it, Nakatanenga rear door conversion kit. Pretty easy fit really. Again, it's pretty straightforward. Just getting the alignment right. Probably the hardest thing, to be honest, was getting the door card off. But all good stuff. So if you like this is my first go at this. Just like and subscribe, I suppose, as they always say, and we'll see where it goes. I intend to do a few more. I've had the Defender for about a year now, and we've done quite a lot of work, quite a conversion kit as well. You'll just see in the back here part of the conversion, but I'm going to do another video on that, and it also has a pop top, which I can describe on the next video if you're interested. So many thanks if you watched it, and see you next time, as they say.